Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 700 Club. Iranians are waiting for President Trump's response to the regime's bloody crackdown. The White House says only the president and his closest advisors know his plans.
Meantime, as the uprising continues, some Iranian forces are reportedly refusing to fire on their own people. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Even with reports of up to 30,000 killed, Iranian-born activist Dr. Amir Hamidi tells CBN News the uprising continues and springs from the heart of the Iranian people.
From Azerbaijan to Balochistan to Kurdistan to southern part of Iran, from Tehran to Tabriz to Mashhad, I hear one voice, and they want a regime change. They want a freedom. They want a normal life.
Hamidi says the regime has enlisted foreign mercenaries to break the rebellion.
To intimidate and attack Iranians because some elements of its own forces hesitating, fracturing, and refusing to fire on their own people.
This Iranian woman, whose father is part of the regime, risked her life by calling in to a talk show. With a message that help is on the way, Iranians are looking for U.S. intervention. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Task Force is on the way to the region, but there are some reports Trump has decided not to intervene.
The truth is, only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Michael Wall, says the U.S. supports the Iranian people risking their lives for freedom.
Well, this is our message. President Donald J. Trump and the United States of America stands by the brave people of Iran. Period.
The delay so far by the U.S. is disappointing to Iranians, but some analysts say President Trump sent similar messages before attacking Iran's nuclear sites last June. He also needs time to put military assets in place. If the Iranian regime does fall, many believe it would be a game changer of historic proportions. Restored relations with America would be a sea change from a regime that daily calls for death to the U.S. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thank you, Chris. In other news, President Trump is threatening to send the military to stop the unrest in Minneapolis. John Jessup has that story and more from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John.
Thanks, Andrew. The president posting on Truth Social that if officials in Minnesota don't, quote, stop professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking ICE agents, he will institute the Insurrection Act, which allows him to deploy the military. The threat comes after chaos in the streets of Minneapolis in recent days, demonstrators using fireworks against the agents who responded with tear gas. An ICE agent shot and wounded a Venezuelan man Wednesday after 3 people attacked him with a shovel and a broom handle. Local officials are blaming federal agents for the unrest and urging protesters to remain calm. Well, global persecution of Christians is increasing. In its annual World Watch list, Open Doors International reports 388 million Christians experience high levels of persecution and discrimination, up from 380 million the year before. The top 5 nations that persecute Christians are North Korea, Somalia, Yemen, Sudan, and Eritrea. The country that's seen the greatest increase of persecution in the past year is Syria, as the new government fails to crack down on Islamic extremists. Open Doors CEO Ryan Brown is calling on Christians everywhere to pray for the persecuted church. He said, quote, the simple fact that they know brothers and sisters around the globe are lifting them up in prayer, from that they draw comfort and encouragement. Andrew, back to you.
Thanks, John. You heard Ryan Brown say how crucial it is to pray for those being persecuted. If you know your Bible, you know the Apostle Paul called himself one of the most beautiful and haunting titles, an ambassador in chains. And in Ephesians 6, he tells us to wear the armor of God. And then at the end of that, he tells us to pray for all the saints. Pray for all people. It makes a difference, and we hear reports from people in persecution that it is so comforting and encouraging for them to know the global church is praying. So please do so.